Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. Halfway point of the week. We are past the trade deadline for Major League Baseball. Let's talk about what the Cardinals did last minute.
Well, they traded a guy for another guy, and the guy they traded is kind of a disappointment. He was a star down here with the Springfield Cardinals. He was the St. Louis Cardinals' #1 draft choice in 2016. A lot expected out of Dylan Carlson, but he's never panned out. He wasn't doing anything at all this year, hardly playing at all. So he, being Carlson, dealt to the Tampa Bay Rays, who come into St. Louis to play, I think, next week. And he was traded for a pitcher named Sean Alexander. That was the interesting one for the Cardinals. That's all they did. Los Angeles Dodgers got former Cardinal Jack Flaherty from the Detroit Tigers, and that will help indeed. And the Kansas City Royals, an interesting choice. They traded for a shortstop, the shortstop being Paul DeJong, the former St. Louis Cardinal. So he leaves the Chicago White Sox. So what's he do logistically? Well, the clubhouse boy is the one who does all the packing on those teams. So they pack up the trunks and all that sort of thing. And DeJong says so long to his teammates. They get the dolly out in the concourse, wheel it around the stadium to the Royals clubhouse, because they're right there, probably 200 yards away, and he unpacks the bags, or his clubhouse boy does. They tip him, says hello to his teammates. Now, what's the mileage fee in that?
What's the travel expenses he's going to write off? Probably a hot dog, if anything. But I wonder if they're just like, hey, man, you can go sit by him on the bus on the way home, buddy. So,
that'll be it, yeah.
Like I said, my thought process for the Royals, especially in the trade deadline, I think like high C, low B as far as the moves they made. They definitely needed some help in the bullpen. I think they got it with that one kid with the arm.
This is Lucas Ersteg. They get him from the Oakland A's, and he will help. Now, he's not a big name, anything like that. He's 29 years old, and he has been around. Pitched for Oakland for a couple of years. I think he pitched overseas also for a while, University of California kid. And he will come in, and certainly he will help. He certainly can't hurt. And the Royals do need some help in the bullpen. That is true.
Word on the street is after Team USA's unbelievable performance in gymnastics, Ned was seen trying to attempt cartwheels in his front yard yesterday. Got real inspired.
Well, it's the backyard, not the front.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the backyard. I thought you were in the front yard this time. He was in the backyard with the bar set.
I have that parallel beam, or whatever they call that thing, which is about 2 inches wide, and which Simone Biles runs. And this is 2 inches. Hell, I can hardly get to the John on 2 inches.
You watch him to walk out the door today.
and she runs down this beam and does a somersault and lands perfectly. How on earth do you do that? And she is not a kid.
No,
she's
in the late
27 years old now, married to a Chicago Bears football player. But my God, how do they do that? Anyway, she and her team, Team USA, wins the gold in gymnastics. And for Simone Biles, she is the all-time American medal winner, period, in gymnastics. No one ever in history has won as many medals as she has, and that's remarkable. Now, she has more to go. She'll be they grade them in the Olympics, team and individuals, and now she'll have some of the individual competition. Absolutely unbelievable. USA men's soccer team go to the quarterfinals. That's the first time in a quarter of a century. The USA women's rugby team.
Let's go. Man, did you see that play?
I did not.
Oh,
no.
Man, into the game, they've got them pushed all the way back, and they're just fighting and clawing, and then I can't remember her name. She basically just breaks through two Australians and just runs the distance. As time expires, scores, collapses in the end, and Team USA wins their first medal in rugby in 100 years.
Ever. It's first time in history for them, and that's how long it's been going on, 100 years. Win the bronze medal, that's outstanding. I love that. So much more going on today, including the men's basketball game, but we'll talk about that later.
Now, I know that, I'm just kidding, there's no way in hell you're ever going to see Ned Reynolds do a floor exercise, but I know that you are into track and field. When's that start?
Today. I'm sorry, let me correct that. It starts tomorrow, but it'll be today, tomorrow in Paris.
6 hours, yeah.
But it runs from tomorrow right through the end of the Olympics, and this is really what what most of the individuals who watch television, which is unfair to say because many of them do watch gymnastics. That's the big ratings grabber.
Badminton, man. You watch those badminton matches?
But still, we're talking about ratings here. And the ratings are gymnastics that has the most. But the track and field is what the Olympics is all about. It's termed, when you take a look at all the boards, as athletics. That's what it's called. They don't have it narrowed down. Athletics is track and field, and yeah, it all starts soon, and I'm anxious to see what Sha'Carri Richardson and Noah Lyles and people like that. Lyles is not a shy human being. He has told everybody that he's the fastest person ever in the world. Now, wait a minute. What about Usain Bolt? I know he's retired, but wasn't he the fastest? I'm the fastest. Okay, baby.
The Cardinals have a very important series going on right now with the Rangers. Didn't start out too good in the beginning of the week, but yesterday it was all St. Louis.
All St. Louis, 8-1. The Cardinals get the win, and that series ends today, this morning, as a matter of fact. Won't that be nice and toasty up in St. Louis to play a midday game? Anyway, how about this? Tommy Pham, who the Cardinals just got from the Chicago White Sox, comes in and plays as the designated hitter. And what's he do in the fifth inning? His first hit upon returning to the Cardinals is a grand slam. How about that? 8-1. Cardinals scored 5 runs in the fifth inning to put it away and buried the Rangers. 8-1. Lance Lynn pitched 5 innings. I think Lance Lynn may be headed back to the bullpen now because of the additions to what they have. The Fetty guy coming in may take his place. We'll see how that's going to work out. But the Cardinals get a win, then play again this morning.
The Royals, obviously dealing with a lower-ranked Chicago White Sox. The day before, of course, Bobby Witt Jr. gets a grand slam, wins the game, makes it, 15 in a row losses for the White Sox? Now make it 16.
It's 16 in a row, and in each case of this series, Chicago's had the lead and given it up. This time it's late in the ball game. Vinny Pasquantino had a couple of RBIs. The Royals win it by a score of 4-3. That is 16 consecutive losses for the White Sox, who have not won, folks, since the All-Star game. They've lost everything. This team has just completely fallen apart. They've traded most of their best players now. They may not win over 40 games this year. They're 27-83 on the year. 27 wins, 83 losses. And this, folks, is the Chicago White Sox. They've been around since the turn of the 20th century, not the 21st. This is not a new team, not a new franchise. Oh, have they ever fallen apart? Well, Royals win. They will play again today in Chicago, where probably about 200 or 300 people will show up for it on the south side. Springfield Cardinals go down to Tulsa, played the Tulsa Drillers. I was anxious to see whether or not that Mr. Edmond, Tommy Edmond, would play for Tulsa. He did not. He's going to rehab with the Dodgers, but it may be at Oklahoma City. Anyway, it was Tulsa 8, the Springfield Cardinals 1. The Drillers put this one away early, and indeed they will play again coming up a little bit later on tonight.
Last but not least, U.S. men's basketball vying for gold in Paris. When do they get back on the court?
It will be later on today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The USA plays South Sudan. Now, you say, who is this, South Sudan? Well, the USA played them in an exhibition game in London and won it by 1 point. 101-100, and lucky to do that because they should have lost the game, they being the USA. Did not. Now, South Sudan, folks, is not as good as the NBA team. They have several former NBA players, actually some current NBA players on their team, mostly college guys who are pretty good players, including Duke's top recruit for this year. But I'd be surprised if the game is that close this time around. We'll see. That's what the Olympics is all about. And South Sudan won their opener over Puerto Rico. So, hey, interesting things might happen, but that's later on today at 2 o'clock.
As far as the medal count goes, U.S. still in the lead with 26, but not when it comes to gold. Only 4 so far. Hopefully
it'll change.
We'll make that ground up when we start track and field, Ned. You have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow.